This episode of I Am the Trend TV is brought to you by Threadbird Printing, high quality screen printing at affordable prices. And Thread's Not Dead, the essential ebook for dominating the t-shirt industry. Visit tinyurl.com/T-not-D and use coupon code IATT20 for 20% off your purchase. Hey guys, Adam from I Am the Trend and I Am the Trend TV, and I am here with Jeff Finley, author of Thread's Not Dead, and we are at Visible Voice Books in Cleveland, Ohio, for the book signing.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Pretty awesome. I mean, I never expected to be an author, or even having a book signing would be something that I would ever, put on or be a part of. So I'm super excited that I actually can meet some of the people that help contribute to the book and formally sort of launch this hard copy product that I think is really cool to have produced.
So the book came out originally, the ebook version, was it back April?
Yeah.
Did you have the vision? Was this the end goal? Like have a hardcover? Did you just want to see where it went? Was it on the roadmap? Did you do anything specific to take it from the digital copy to the hard copy?
Definitely was not on the roadmap. I thought it was 100% going to be a digital product. When I first set out to do it, I was only going to create an ebook. It was only going to take me a month. I was just going to interview a bunch of people that inspired me and take their feedback, and then I'd put my own words in there, and then I'd have a book in a month, and I'd release it and make a couple $1,000, maybe have a cool product, just to put out there, sell in the arsenal, which we sell a bunch of other digital products there.
Absolutely.
So, but as I was getting into it, I was like, okay, this is a book for designers. I'm a designer. I can't just release a crappy looking Microsoft Word template ebook like all the other ebooks. You have a cliche that's got, the Microsoft Word, and you have to sell the ebook, you go to the website and it's got like a mile-long copy of all these, all these crazy, I don't know, whatever.
Copy.
Yeah, it's like totally overselling it.
Yeah.
So that was my perception of it. But then I was like, you know what? I forget who said it, but I think it might have been Jeffrey Kalmakoff said, oh, you should make it cool, like you should design it. And
Sure.
I was like, oh yeah, duh, I really should. So I cracked open InDesign and figured out how to lay it out.
Yeah, I was, blown away with the way it looked when, I first downloaded it. That's what I expected, was just, black and white PDFs. And the design of the book is really cool. Just adds, like you said, design flavor to a design book, which makes sense. So
yeah,
hats off there.
It's for designers, and of course, I wanted to make it inspiring, put awesome artwork on every single page. But so that sort of led up to this idea that maybe it could be a printed book, because of course when you're working in InDesign, you're typically not laying out ebooks, you're laying out print books.
Sure.
So I looked, all the tutorials that I could find in any sort of research was all about how to lay out a print book. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lay it out like this and figure it out from here. So what I ended up getting was an ebook that looked a lot like a print book.
Absolutely.
So when people bought it digitally, they're like, well, where's the hardcover version? Where's the book version of this? This is really cool, but I want to own it. And so enough people gave me feedback about wanting the book that I actually started considering it. And then around that time, I started pitching the idea to a few publishers that I knew that I didn't really know any, but I saw you can look them up in the favorite designer books.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to pick this guy. Let's find him on Twitter. So I got some interest, but ultimately they declined it because I had already released the ebook version and sold a bunch of copies. So they were kind of like, well, we would prefer to do it all ourselves. So once I got that first rejection, I was like, all right, I'm just going to put it out myself. I'm going to figure out how to self-publish it. Looked into my options, and then found someone locally who was familiar with InDesign enough to take my ebook that was formatted digitally on all 72 DPI images.
Yep.
So she helped me a lot with taking it off my hands and laying it out in print format, making sure all the fonts were there, all the files were there. So then I was able to send it to my printer, which is Lightning Source, and they print on demand. So once we got in with their system, upload all the files, and every time someone orders, they print and ship.
The book looks great. It physically looks really good. It's really good quality. For an on-demand, I don't know usually what their quality is like, for an on-demand. For some reason I always assume on-demand with lower quality, but they did just a fantastic job. So it looks completely professional. When it showed up at my doorstep, I was like, wow, I got 2 pages in this thing and I can hold it, Just something cool about taking the digital copy to a hardcover, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the most expensive option. I could have went like paperback, this big, you know.
Yeah, I wish we had a copy of it up here.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously we'll show it here to you right now. But it's a nice, you know, big, meaty-sized book. You know, it feels good, it looks good. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about the book here. How would you sum it up? If somebody's never seen the book at all, you know, give a little short synopsis about what to expect in the book. Who's it for? I know it's, you know, supposedly for, not supposedly, but it is for designers, but it's also, what I feel, for people outside, you know, being a designer. You know, people looking to start their clothing company. So if you want to touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a book targeted towards creative demographic. Anybody who's interested in t-shirts, you know, if they're always wearing band tees, or they're interested to find out who is the one designing the graphics on your band tees, you know, like, or the album artwork that you're looking at. You know, if you're fascinated, if you're in the music scene or in the creative scene or in the fashion scene, like, any of that stuff's going to appeal to you. And the book isn't really focused on how to design. I mean, there's plenty of how to design tutorials out there. And of course, we've written a bunch of tutorials and I've done a bunch of those, but I didn't want to make this book about how to open up Photoshop and make a design. So I have a chapter on that, but it touches on a lot of things, but it really touches on a lot of the more business aspects of being a designer and getting your feet wet by designing for clothing companies, other people's clothing companies, and other bands to sort of establish a reputation, build up your portfolio and your skills of being a designer, and then maybe taking that next step, launching your own brand, you know, with your own flavor. And then what do you do to take that from a hobby to, you know, quit your day job, now it's like your professional brand, and then how do you take that to a retail brand?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good, like, step-by-step, you know, it's not, you know, when I first got the book, when I first heard the concept of the book, I was assuming that it was going to be just for designers, but it's really not. It's a lot more than that. Like I said, it's kind of like point A to point, you know, Z, and there's a lot of information for everybody. You know, whether you just like to know, you know, how shirts get made, it's still a really good, you know, really.
I'm not just a designer, you know. Obviously, I am a designer and an artist, but I'm also very entrepreneurial, and I'm always thinking about how to, you know, do things myself. And it's definitely got a very DIY attitude in this book.
Absolutely.
So whether, you know, you could, even if you're not running a clothing line, I mean, it's all about how to market yourself, get the word out about your brand, whatever brand you have. It's focused on t-shirts, but, you know, from what I've heard from feedback, you don't have to be a designer, or even be like an advanced designer. I mean, I feel like it's pretty mass appealing.
I mean, most of the people that read I'm the Trend are clothing you know, companies or looking to establish themselves. They're not exactly designers, but I've heard a ton of great feedback just from like clothing lines on just, you know, expanding the brand. It's talked about in the book, you know, some legal advice in the book, you know, marketing advice. So there's just a lot there. I mean, it's a great resource. I mean,
one of the coolest thing I think is the case studies. You know, like the people who've actually been there, done that. I've given them an opportunity to just talk about how they got to where they are. So it's nothing like learning from the people who've already done it first. Sure. You know, and then the first major part of the book is definitely about like, you know, me personally narrating and breaking it down for you, and then I let all the contributors, yourself included, give their stories. You know, so it gets
which I appreciate.
A lot of people
honored to be in the book.
Yeah, multiple points of view. You know, I wanted to provide a complete picture, and of course, make the book that came out of the scene that started with like MTs. You know, and you know, I was there from the beginning and met a whole bunch of awesome people.
You won the first T-shirt of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
So, but of course, I haven't been on the community in quite some time. I still keep tabs on it. I still like check it out.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while to kind of see what's going on. Of course, MTs died, and now it's, you know, Minties and, you know, various other offshoots that have popped up. But the community obviously is still there. So I still think that's why we're seeing some success with Fred's Not Dead. I mean, people are still launching clothing lines, no matter how cliche it might have been 5 years ago. But I mean, people are just doing it better, and the tools are there.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more tools for everything. It's great. It makes it a lot easier. You know, less costly.
Yeah.
So what's next? You launched the book. Do you have plans for a second book? Anything exciting other than a book that you want to, you know, touch on for everyone?
Okay. Well, I mean, there's definitely plans for a second book down the line. Not immediately. I don't even know what that's going to be, but it's probably going to be something that comes from my inspiration that started Weapons of Masqueration Fest. You know, building community and taking a step further. You know, talking about that whole aspect. Okay. But that's going to be not something I'm going to do for now. In the immediate future, we've got On the Map, which is an event Go Media is putting on. It's an annual event that we have every year. It's like an open house, so we usually invite people in, you know, into our studio at Go Media and show people our work and stuff. but this time we're focusing on other businesses and we're bringing them in that we think are cool here in Cleveland, like the Cleveland Cinema Tech and Bad Racket Audio Recording Studio and a few other, like 5 to 10 different businesses, and we did a short documentary on each one of them.
Nice.
And then we're going to screen that at the event.
Very cool.
That's coming up on November 11th, and you can go to onthemapcle.com.
Sounds good. Check it out.
Yeah, and then coming up after that is Welcome to Masquerade Fest 3, in June. So
unbelievable.
That's the thing I'm really looking forward to, and starting in January, starting to kind of hit the pavement real hard with that.
Great. Anything new about this year's WMC that?
Well, we've already got like 13 speakers booked that we can't identify yet.
Sure.
But there were some pretty heavy hitters, and I'm really stoked on it.
That's awesome.
So we're just going to continue to build from last year, and hopefully we can we're going to build a website a little bit better to help bring some of the community, build the buzz, build the festival for the web.
Yep.
To get people so they can watch videos and all that stuff. So hopefully next year we're going to have better video and all that.
Sounds good. We look forward to it.
Still a work in progress.
We definitely look forward to it. So, wrap it up. Where can you buy the book?
Well, you can get it at resnotdead.com.
Okay.
Or you can go to store.gomedia.us to buy it directly from us. But if you want it faster, because technically when you buy it from us, I have to put the order in and it takes time to print and ship. If you want it faster, you can just get it on Amazon. They ship free, Super Saver shipping. It's the same price.
Nice.
So get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your online major retailers. And if you want to go to your local bookstore and tell them, do you carry Threads Not Dead? That always helps an author because it lets the bookstores know that they're maybe missing out on something.
Sure.
And you can show them the book, show them the website and stuff like that. Maybe that you can bring it to your hometown or something like that.
So make sure to go do that. Go to your bookstore, ask for it. Help Jeff out. The product is incredible. Threads Not Dead. It's been out for a few months in the ebook version, which is fantastic, and the printed copy looks fantastic.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up, guys.
There you go. Christmas is coming up.
Perfect gift for your nephew who's interested in design or whatever.
That's a great point.
Alternative design or graphics.
Well, congratulations. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam.
Have fun at the book signing tonight. We'll be here.
All right.
Check it out. ThreadsNotDead.com. Jeff Finley.